Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have a bit of a wake-up call, a bit of a passionate one, and one that might kind of kick you guys in the bum a little bit. But I think sometimes we kind of need to get this wake-up call, and I feel really called to deliver this one to you because let's face it, every single one of us gets caught up in that trap of saying that we want to change, and we do it over and over and over again until the people in our lives wake us up to the fact that we are not doing anything about it, and they're sick of hearing us talk about saying we're going to change, right? So this one's a painful one, and I think that every single one of you guys listening to this can resonate with that feeling of frustration that we get when people say they want to change, and you do whatever you can to help and support them in that direction, and you just keep hearing the same stories over and over again. And also, I'd really like, because all of these messages are about empowering ourselves instead of just seeing what everybody else is doing wrong, sometimes we can recognize what another person is doing wrong before we recognize that we do that ourselves. And the purpose of all of these messages is to ultimately get us to wake up to ourselves and realize what we're judging in that other person is something that we probably are judging within ourselves. And instead of, being, self-reflective and holding the mirror up in front of ourselves, sometimes we just get projecting onto everybody else around us. And so today's message is going to kind of kick you up the bum a little bit and get you to think about where in your life are you saying that you want something, like some sort of change, but your life and your results are absolutely not showing that that is actually happened or happening. And I know this one is going to be hard for some of us to get our minds around, but ultimately the fact is, if you keep saying that you want to change, but your life is presenting a different set of results and you're just talking about change, the fact of the matter is you're lying to yourself. All right? So when I say this, I'm not saying that, we're consciously saying that we want to do something and we're just not doing it, and we're just like, I don't have the energy or something like that. I'm saying that we're actually convincing ourselves that we want something and we really want to change, and we're trying to convince everybody around us that we want to change, but we're not, and that's the point. So you know that our mind is 4% the conscious mind and 96% the subconscious mind. So anything that you say you want to change and you want to do is actually just utilizing 4% of your brain and 4% of your mind in capacity. And you're saying this thing, but the majority of your mind is thinking otherwise. The majority of your mind is saying, why would I do that if I'm getting this payoff and this payoff and this benefit, and I don't have to face that fear, and I don't have to have all those disadvantages that I perceive might occur. And you're driving yourself insane because you're saying one thing but never following through. And the fact of the matter is, if you truly wanted that change, if you really thought that you were going to get benefit from it, if you really thought there were tons of advantages and everything that you're consciously saying out here was going to actually come true, you'd be doing it. You would already have made the decision to change. You wouldn't be procrastinating. You wouldn't be kind of just talking about it and not actually taking action. Your actions are absolutely determining and reflecting what you really want already, okay? So we can go off on many different tangents as to, why we say those things and we don't follow through, but, you've got to firstly have the level of self-awareness to recognize that you are lying to yourself if you consistently say you want to change, but you're not actually aligning your actions with that, okay? And so there might be some legitimate reasons that you're lying to yourself. you're not believing in yourself, you're not trusting in your ability to take action and get a good result, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You've got to be honest with yourself and realize that the action that you take is shouting out the truth for you over and above your voice shouting what you think you really want. And that's where the challenge comes in. When we get caught up in this mentality that, of course I want that thing, I keep trying to move toward that thing, I keep telling myself and everyone that I want to change, but you're not. So let's get honest and be real with ourselves. It's your actions that are telling you the truth about what you want, and it is not at all your voice. Stop listening to that projection of something that you're not following through on. And if you really, really, really want to be able to make that change, you've got to bring up all that subconscious stuff that's limiting you. Okay, so anything that you say doesn't necessarily, you might be setting some goals out here, but what really determines whether or not you're going to reach that goal or make that change or align your actions with your words is really what's going on in your subconscious mind. Like I said before, the conscious mind is only 4% of the mind's capacity. The other 96% is really determining your actions. It doesn't matter what you say. If there's a misalignment between your words and your actions, trust your actions. They're speaking the truth, not the 4% that you're saying one thing and doing another from. So I really, really hope that this is kind of a wake-up call for all of us to stop living in some fantasy about what we think we want, what changes we think we're saying and we're talking about all the time, but our actions aren't in alignment with, so we have to get honest with ourselves. And sometimes we need to wake ourselves up to the fact that we've been lying to ourselves, is stuck in the conscious 4% and not tapping into that 96% and working out what are the payoffs for me remaining the same. And follow that pathway down. You've really got to follow those subconscious thoughts and beliefs and fears. And when we can get to that point of honesty about, okay, I'm definitely seeing a lot more advantages in staying the same than I am seeing advantages in making the change. Let's get honest, first of all, and then do I want to change that? Okay, and I've said to you guys many times before, if you ever want to make a change, you have to up the level of disadvantages for staying the same. What is it costing you to remain the same? Project into your future 6 months from now, a year from now. What does life look like if you continue to tell this story about what you think you want to change, but you're not doing anything about it? Okay, and use that power of future projection and get honest with yourself about all the payoffs, and then determine what the costs are, what all those disadvantages are for you staying the same. And then also look at making the change and try your best and your hardest to up the level of advantages that you can perceive that you'll achieve when you make that change. What are the benefits for you to drop your story and start moving in a more fulfilling direction? Think about all of those, and again, project into the future. How could life be better in 6 months, in a year from now, if you actually have the courage to get honest with yourself and make some serious changes? So I'm on a bit of a rant today, as you can probably tell, but I really, really feel like sometimes we just need this bit of a kick up the bum and a wake-up call to stop lying to ourselves and to ultimately make the right changes to empower ourselves. And definitely, I think sometimes we can see it in other people. That's our first point of call, to see when people are always talking about what they're going to change, but they never actually do. And that can be kind of that frustration that we get from them to go, okay, all right, but I want to empower myself. I know all of you guys watching a video like this, you're here for personal development. You're here to take responsibility for your life, and you're here to empower yourself so that you can reach a new level of your potential. And if that's us, if we want to reach new levels of our potential, anytime we have a judgment and a frustration or a resentment in somebody else, we actually need to do some work on ourselves and use it to our advantages. I love when anybody in my external world triggers me because I'm woken up to a blind spot of what I'm not doing right, or where I'm kind of missing the point here and disempowering myself. And so when we can look at that frustration, and we all can pinpoint somebody in our lives who says they want to do something and they never follow through, and it's tiring and it's frustrating to hear the story go over and over and over again. But then we need to reflect back and say, where in my life am I actually doing the same thing? Where am I lying to myself? Where am I constantly telling myself I want to do this thing, but I'm never following through? Stop lying to yourself. And if you really do want to move in the direction of making that change, you've, like I said, up the level of disadvantages for staying the same and up the level of advantages for making the change. So really, really hope that this is of value to you guys. I hope you're having a great weekend wherever you are in the world. And I definitely want to make sure that each and every one of you guys are definitely part of the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. Beautiful like minds from across the globe, creeping up to nearly 4,500 incredible human beings, and we'd love for you to be a part of that beautiful community if you want to reach a new level of your potential. And definitely I've been opening up these 15-minute power sessions because I love getting to meet you and connect with you and see how I can support you on the individual level. So if you are challenged right now and you really want to get to that next level and you're looking for a new perspective and some empowerment to get you through, make sure that you select one of my times in my calendar link that's up above, and I cannot wait to meet you personally. So I'm going to check in with you guys and see who's been able to join me. I have got, if you have any questions or comments, I love hearing from you, and I love connecting, or just say hi. I love that. And I've got Lucy and Alexandria and Sam and Kaden, and yes, my spirit sister as always, Alexandria, and Hassani's here, and Mark and Kadek, and oh, hello to you, Kaden. Always appreciate having you here. And Chris and Judy and Yoni and Jody and Kim and Allison and Klaus. Hello, 10 o'clock in the evening in Colombia, South America. I love you being here, and I love it when you guys let me know where you're from. That's so exciting to me to know that we're all connecting from everywhere. So thanks, Klaus, and Ali's here, and Moises. And Ali, I'm doing really super well. I hope you are as well. And thank you for your kind compliments there, Moises. I appreciate that. And Zane's here, and Kaden. This is awesome. Fundamental message. We could use this same message once a month until the world changes. We must attach to the reality of this psychosis and break this popular cycle of insanity. You are so spot on, Kaden. I always resonate with the words of wisdom that you share in these messages. And absolutely, sometimes we just need that kick up the butt, to really get moving and waking up to the truth. The moment we stop lying to ourselves is the moment we actually start living in reality as opposed to in some mindless fantasy. So absolutely, Kaden. And I always appreciate your beautiful, kind compliments there, Kaden. Thank you. And John and Shane and Jolene and Stephen and Ray and Morris and Kelly and Josie. Hassani, I think for me, I can get caught up in trying to improve myself in 10 different areas all at once. Thinking about it more, it might be helpful for me to focus on one goal habit per week and stay singularly focused to make progress there. And yes, I definitely need to envision those benefits for making the changes. So grateful for your kicks in the butt to keep me on track. I love that, Huss. And you've just reminded me, I wasn't necessarily going to mention this, but I'm going to do this training for you guys. And it's all about the 8 different principles that I use personally to make the most out of my personal development. As you guys have probably clued on to, I spend all my money on educating myself and definitely getting messages and creating programs and all of that stuff and getting coaches and yeah, all the time. That's where it all goes. Oh, and dresses probably as well. But definitely, I wouldn't do that if I didn't find that I was getting awesome value and it was seriously worthwhile the thousands of dollars I spend on my personal development, right? And so I absolutely want to deliver this free training for you guys. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it. I actually just thought about it this morning. I think I'll do it I don't know, some time in the coming week, but I'll let you guys know. But it's going to talk into the 8 principles to absolutely make sure that you're operating in every single one if you really want to make the most of your personal development, because most of us get into the mindset of personal development junkie, and we're just learning, but we're really not implementing it and making the most of the money and the time and the effort that we pour into this personal development. So I think it's a really important training, and yeah, just came to me this morning in my writing. I'm like, boom, I really want to deliver this for you guys. It's not going to just be a Facebook Live. I'm going to do it like a proper training for you guys. So if that's interesting to you, please let me know, and I'll bring it forward sooner rather than later. But I so appreciate that, Huss. And Brian's here. Hello to you. Can you, at a later session, talk about the difference between... Oh, I so appreciate... Actually, I've got a note down on my table over there with your name on it, and your suggestion that you wrote down on Instagram the other day. The difference between disheartened and wholehearted. And I definitely will, and also can talk again about what you like about the book May Cause Miracles. I absolutely will. Thank you so much for that suggestion, Brian. I'll probably do it for you tomorrow. So tomorrow's Facebook Live, tune in and I will answer those for you. I'm so sorry, I nearly forgot, but like I said, I did have it written down on my notebook over there. So thanks, Brian, and I always appreciate you being here. And Lewis, hello to you, and Jeannie, and Matus, and Safon, hello, and Ali, yes, and Suraj, and Lauro, and Jeannie, love the messages. I'm grateful that you're loving these, and Safon, and Sean, and Safon, always great topic. Thank you, Safon, I'm loving that this resonated, and Philippe's here, and Jagadish, and you're welcome, and Alejandro, I think that's it. Thank you for all your dedication and your motivational talks. Thank you. You are so welcome, and thank you for saying thank you, because that totally fills my heart up when I know you guys are getting value from these messages. I so appreciate that. And Kaden, thank you so much. Question. Yes, gosh, you know my love language is questions, don't you, Kaden? I love it. What would you suggest someone does if their entire belief system is based on demonizing lies? Wow. It can be paralyzing to imagine our beliefs are false. Yeah. How do you save yourself from fear-based dogma? Whoa. Now that is a full-on question that I think we could probably have a conversation all day about. But personally, it's I'm assuming that question you're asking, Kaden, is how do you save somebody else? What do you suggest someone does if their entire belief system is based on demonizing lies? It can be paralyzing to imagine our beliefs are false. Okay, no, but probably so for yourself. So I'm assuming there that it's kind of like we come into our lives and we start in this lower level of consciousness of tribal belonging, and we adopt all of the belief systems of the people that we, our guardians, the people closest to us, our parents, our family, our friends, whatever. We kind of mindlessly adopt these belief systems, and then as we develop in our level of consciousness, we kind of start waking up to the fact that this isn't adding up, or this doesn't really sit well with me. I don't know if I believe that or trust that. And we have experience and things don't resonate, and we can get seriously scared about leaving past beliefs behind, usually because we identify so strongly with the community that also hold those same beliefs, and it's human nature to fear not having belongingness. Okay, so my first suggestion to you is, if you are somebody who's sort of starting to feel like you've been believing a bunch of demonizing lies, like you put it there, Kaden, and you're starting to feel seriously scared about where to from here, I would really encourage you to not just jump off board, but to actually dive into as much research as possible, and ideally, getting in communities of open-mindedness. So, the Limitless Potential Inner Circle, that's a place of safety for anybody who is looking to shift and change and expand and potentially leave some people in their lives behind. We all have to go through that, and it can be such a challenge to leave people behind, and that's ultimately why we usually fear so much leaving our belief patterns behind, because they're attached to some sort of community and belongingness. And who the hell are we if we no longer believe those things that we've based our whole identity around? So I would first say go on a journey of absolute depth in terms of discovering what works for you. Discover the truth. Make it your mission to, really expand your mind and take in new information, and ideally surround yourself with open-minded people who are, either on that journey themselves, or they have been through the journey of leaving belief systems behind. I speak to so many beautiful souls from across the globe who absolutely leave their religions behind, their family dogma behind, all sorts of stuff behind, and they are thriving outside of that. By no means is it easy. I've had to do it myself, to do the work that I do now. I still struggle with different family members and who hold different belief systems than me. But you, at the end of the day, have to be the bigger person, and in terms of just believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself and you make it okay to leave things behind, to leave old beliefs behind, and you trust in your ability to figure things out and not have to be in the know of everything before you make a transition that's right for you, then that's where you actually start evolving and growing and having freedom in your life. So I hope I sort of partly answered that question for you, Caden. It's a massive one that, like I said, I think we could dive into all sorts of rabbit holes on, but definitely let me know if that was of help. I really think it's basically about researching and educating yourself, going through much more. Empower yourself in those areas of belief, and also surround yourself with a community of new people who are more open-minded, who aren't getting stuck in those old belief systems. That'll help make the transition out of, get out of the fear of not belonging as well. So community and empowerment in that area through knowledge and experience, and diving deep and doing the research and doing the homework and going on that journey as well. So hope that was helpful, Caden. I so appreciate you. And Sam, how long is the training? Well, it just kind of popped into my mind today. I'm assuming it'll probably go for about 45 minutes. I really want to go deep in those different principles for you, because I want all of us to get the most out of our investment in our self-development. Because so many people, they invest all this stuff in self-development and they either don't do the job, they invest in the course but they never do it, or they kind of learn a lot, they're always reading or they're always learning, but they're never actually implementing it into their lives, and it becomes a waste of time and energy. Like, why do you just want a whole library of books that you're not actually doing the work on? Like, you've got to make it worthwhile. Any investment in your personal development, you want to have a strategy of making it worthwhile. So I really want to deliver that for you. I'm assuming it'll probably be for 45 minutes. That's what I'm saying now, 45 to an hour. No more. I think it's too much, too more. So I hope that's answered your question there, Sam. And Oscar is here, and Marlon and Ali. I hope, wishing you happiness as well there, Ali. And Oscar, thank you. And so are you. You're super important. We all are. I love that. DV's here, and Caden, for self and others, it's my background. Yes, I'm sorry I didn't read that, but hope that still helped you. So definitely do the research, go on a journey for yourself. Beliefs are everything. Your beliefs are what determine your experience of life. I am never going to stop challenging my current belief systems. I'm never going to stop expanding my mind and learning why people believe the things that they believe, why they do the things that they do, and reflecting it into my own life and taking action, because I value truth over getting caught up in, a tribal mentality of some sort because we want to belong. That's really unfulfilling. And as you know, Caden, I'm all about authenticity, as are you. So hope that was valuable. And Philippe, I admire you so much, colleague. You are so inspirational. It's important to recognize that we all have to work on ourselves every day, no matter how many trainings we have taken. Definitely being along with people on the same channel helps so much. Thank you, Philippe, and much admiration to you as well. I know that you are also doing some great stuff in the world, and I love it, and I so appreciate your kind words. And definitely, this journey of developing ourselves never stops, and why would we want it to? That's the whole concept around limitless potential. There's always a new level to reach of your potential, and I think if your growth mindseted as I am, then that's kind of exciting. There's always somewhere more we can progress to. So, but you've got to enjoy the journey as well, and appreciate how you have grown and where you have come from in simultaneous action as well. So thank you, Philippe, and Jamal's here, and thank you, Safon. I appreciate you being here. And Caden, that makes perfect sense. A lot of my limitations are connected to association with family, but they're also the most supportive people in my life. Ultimately, I can't avoid offending some people. You're resonating as always. Would love to talk more on that sometime. Absolutely, Caden, we so should. And definitely, that's part of my journey, the whole family dynamic, right? And I love what Dr. John D. Martini, I don't know where I know it was him who said it. I don't know where I picked it up from. I've never retraced my tracks on it. But ultimately, I remember him saying years ago that we were born into our families to teach our families about unconditional love, or how to love unconditionally. And I look in my own family and I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Exactly. It's definitely happening, to allow our families to be kind of challenged by the truth of who we are, so that we can get to a place of loving unconditionally. You can't get unconditional love when you're trying to abide by a set of rules laid out for you and expectations placed down for you. You're just kind of you're getting love because you're living toward the condition. And so when we be authentic and truthful, and we know who we are, and we go in that direction despite the criticisms, judgments, and opinions of particularly the people closest to us, we give ourselves and them and the relationship an opportunity to move from conditional love to unconditional love. And I think that's a great way of looking at it. You are doing a disservice to your relationships by trying to live to their expectations. And the moment you get authentic and you move in that direction, and you stay connected, and you reassure them, and you educate them on a new way of thinking and a new way of being happy and free, then you can shift the relationship. You have the potential to do so, to shift it to unconditional love, because you're not living to any expectations or conditions. So I hope that's a value. And Byron's here, and Ryan and Shane's here, looking active and beautiful. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. And Ryan, thing I've learned from stopping putting others first before yourself. Absolutely. Spot on, Ryan. And coming from a recovering people pleaser, as I like to call myself, definitely, the moment you start valuing yourself and you ask yourself, what is the most self-loving action that I can take? What is the most self-loving thing that I could do in this situation? That is always going to be the most loving thing that you do for anyone. There's so many beautiful human beings, yourself included by the sounds of it, Ryan, who are always looking to, meet the needs of those around us. But it should never, ever, ever come at the expense of our own needs. And, we've all heard the aeroplane analogy. You've got to put your mask on first before you can help others. It resonates with all areas of life. So absolutely, Ryan, thanks for sharing. And Sam, I'm loving that this is a great message for you, and you rock, my friend. And Shane, hope your weekend's gone great as well. Mine is awesome. And Kaden, you always provide me with valuable advice and perspective vindication. Thank you so much, Kaden. And you always supply me with, awesome, intelligent questions that I so appreciate. And definitely just being you. I love it. And Sam's here. And Kaden, we're teaching our families. That is profound. Yeah, I thought so too, and that's why it stuck with me, but I have no idea. I know it was Dr. John Demartini who said it years ago, and I have no idea where he said it, or I don't know. But it totally resonated with me, and I think it's really important to see that we were born into our families to teach them how to love unconditionally, and that's a way of doing it, by being authentic. Absolutely. And Christopher's here, and Safan, I appreciate you. Thank you. And so guys, that really is my message for you. I hope it was a bit of a kick up the butt that you needed, as we all do at different times, to stop lying to ourselves, get really honest. It's at that point of honesty, of self-honesty, that we can actually be successful in the way that we choose. And we don't get caught up in this mindless, crazy, insane way of being when we're saying we want to change or do this thing, but we're actually never doing it, and we're all talk. And we need to remember that our conscious mind is only 4% of the mind's capacity, and it's the 96% in our subconscious that's actually determining our actions, and it's that part that is absolutely shouting the truth at us. And it doesn't matter what we say, if our actions aren't aligning with it, it's just not the truth. So we need to wake up to that. So I hope that was valuable to you guys. As I said, I will be doing a training for you guys on the 8 principles to absolutely get the most out of your personal development, so you're not wasting all your time, energy, money, whatever, continuing to learn but not really getting the benefit from it. I find it really a valuable training that I just came up with today. I really want to deliver for you. So if you let me know you'd be interested in the training, let me know. Just go, yep, I'd be interested in the training. That'd do it. And I'll make sure that gets created for you sooner rather than later. I'm thinking this week sometime. So I'd love to do that for you guys. And as always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you, to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's absolutely beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, just like you. And I so appreciate you guys joining me. Thanks, Brian. I love that you're interested. And yes, I will do that training for you, Brian, probably tomorrow, if not the next day. But I'll let you guys know. And I'm talking about the training in terms of, sorry, not the training, the Facebook Live that you mentioned about the disheartened versus wholehearted. I will certainly do that for you and talk into May Cause Miracles. I'd love to do that. I always appreciate your suggestions, and I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.